Hello everyone, and welcome back to the first episode of Week in Bytes Season 2 with me, your host, Bytes. Hope you all are doing well. So our first guest for this season is a very determined and opinionated woman who is a fashion model, former beauty queen, artist, indigenous rights activist, and an entrepreneur. So let's welcome Rhea Resham Bari. Hi Rhea, how are you?
Hi, Saishri. Thank you for having me. I'm doing fine and great afternoon. Feels good. Feels really energetic. Looking
That's
forward to
amazing.
this session now.
That's great. So let's start with you introducing yourself to our audience.
I think you did a great job with putting the words through. But I would, if you would tell me, if how would I introduce myself? I know that apart from being a fashion model, I like telling people that I am an indigenous. I belong from an indigenous community from Orissa, who believes in speaking for what's right for the women, the youth, and encouraging them, giving them a space where they can, uh, where they can at least represent themselves.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So when and how exactly did your modeling career begin?
To be very honest and to be very precise, I think my modeling career started in 2018 when I started doing the prominent fashion weeks. I worked for these eminent designers. Before that, I was doing pageants, and I wanted to be in the industry, but I was very, I didn't know where to start from. And I keep saying this always, like every interview, it's like I didn't know where to start from. And, I was watching my interviews earlier and I thought it's true, because I was so determined. And ever since I started doing this, uh, since my childhood, I think for my first fancy dress competition, I was dressed up as Miss Universe. And, since then I knew that this is something I want to do and I have to do it. So it just happened, and 2018 was my break. And I was very lucky that I met my mentors and people who really supported me in a new city, in a new area for me. I mean, there's nobody in my, even in my distant family, who's even close to fashion or fashion modeling or Mumbai. And for me to be there, I think it's huge. It's
That's,
huge.
that's amazing. Okay, so as you were the first runners-up of World Supermodel India 2016, so how was your experience there in the pageant?
That I remember was my first pageant. I was, I think, 21 years old. And for a early 20s, I was in my early 20s. And I was very, I knew that I was very ambitious. I knew that I have to represent India internationally, and I was working really hard. I was grooming all over India, in Pune, in Bombay. I was training with all these people, and I knew that I have to do it. Like, this is something, when you're dreaming of something, and then that you have that potential, you somehow, you gather that courage that, okay, let's move forward. And with supportive parents, it becomes easier. So I was, I had my whole family ka support. My people were there. We had this some uh, subtitle. We had some subtitle. It was some online subtitle where you vote for the person. And initially I didn't tell anybody that I'm participating, because I had that fear that what if I don't qualify, and people are just gonna make fun that, oh, see, pata nahi Miss India banne chali gayi thi. So that was my initial fear. But the love and the support that I got from the community, the people of Orissa, was immense. And I still remember it. It still gives me goosebumps. And I owe it to World Supermodel India, because they've given me that recognition, because of which later people in my area, in my, around me, they started knowing me. So my first pageant will always be my special.
That is amazing. So, like, who is your favorite celebrity model and why?
Oh, yeah. So this is something. I have a lot of favorite people, but currently there's this female. She's Kuana Rose. Um, I don't know if you have heard of. I mean, she was all over the news recently for her Met Gala look. So
Yeah.
even she is an indigenous model. She's from Australia, and she is also into activism. And I take a lot of inspiration from her. And in her Met Gala look, she walked. She was on the red carpet with her indigenous. She's somebody I aspire to be. Like she uh, represents her culture, her roots, and in spite of, I mean, it's I somewhere I relate with her, and that's the reason I take immense I take a lot of inspiration from her. So I think
Yeah.
currently she's my favorite.
That's great. You also became a part of a famous reality show that is India's Next Top Model. So tell us something
Yeah.
about your experience in that show.
So, if you see in today's date, everybody wants to be a part of a reality show. And likewise, even when I was young, even I wanted to do it. And I had people around me. So, when I started modeling, when I did fashion shows, when I started getting that little recognition, people started knowing me. Then everybody started telling me that, hey, why don't you try for India's Next Top Model? And I was, that show was something that I watched in my early teen age days. And I was I did like the idea of me being on the TV, because ultimately, come on, everybody wants to be on the TV, everybody wants to be famous. So I did like the idea. I went for the auditions. It was, I mean, very tough. The audition process itself was very tough. And can you imagine being in Mumbai? There are thousands and thousands of girls who audition every day to be there. And when I went there, when I told them about myself, my whole introduction and everything, they did like me, and they took me further. I was in the top 11. But again, to be on the TV, it takes a lot, and there's a lot that you put at stake. So for me, I wasn't ready, I think, at that point of time, because there were certain experiences that I still hold with me, where they want that, where, yeah, they want to show something, they want that story with you. And I did have a nice story. I mean, now when I look at it, it does seem like a very convincing thing to say that, okay, I come from a tribal background and stuff. But I couldn't lie at that point of time, because I know that I have studied in Bhubaneswar, the capital city, and I went to a good school. I can speak fluently in all the three languages, Hindi, Odia, and English. So to go there and to say certain things like, I wasn't supported, or I come from a very small town, or certain things like that did not fall with my ethics, maybe. So I couldn't, I couldn't open myself there, and it takes time for me as a individual also to know certain people, or to be myself in front of them. But yeah, maybe it wasn't my time at that point of time. So the experience was good. I mean, I got to know a lot about how reality shows work, and I think that's my take from that show.
That's nice. So how do you perceive that? How real are these reality shows?
They are real. I would say that, the tasks that we perform, the tasks that are given, they are super real. But again, whatever they are showing, they record it 24/7, but they choose to show you what they feel like the audience is going to like. I wish there was something like where you are visible throughout the day, so your whole potential could be visible. But if there's a third person who is trying to show certain things about you, then it becomes difficult. Even if you say that, no, I performed, nobody is going to believe that. because they're always going to believe what they are seeing. So that's how it is.
Yes, I got a different perspective. That's nice. So, is there something along your journey as a model which you're most proud of? What might that be?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I'm proud of till date. All my achievements, even if they're small things, even if I'm participating somewhere, if I take that as an achievement, because I personally am a very shy girl. I am an introvert, and it's funny how how much I can talk, but I really like being in my. I'm very reserved. I like being in my area and my house, my surroundings, my people. But to be in this industry, I had to change that. I'm not saying I had to change that. Let's not say that. I had to build a personality where I had to be outgoing. I had to be somebody that is it was something apart from my comfort zone. So I take a lot of pride in that. That uh, for somebody like me who's come from from these small places, going to all these, climbing these stairs and reaching where I've always dreamt of, is a huge thing for me. And every time, there are these young girls who come and tell me that, Didi, because of you, we knew that, this is something that we wanted to do, and we take inspiration from you. And, all these small messages that I get, or even when they come see me, it fills my heart with a lot of gratitude that, it makes me feel so great that, people from my community also everybody wants to do it, but then they don't know how to start, where to start, whom to go to. So I'm really glad that I could at least show them that way, and I will continue to do it. And even if there's something that I can't, I'll at least try to help people as much as I can.
That's that's surely a great job that you're doing. So you have grown up facing racism from the society. So how do you deal with it?
See, racism, again, if you go with the literal meaning, it's not always color. It's, it's a lot of things. And every time when things happened with me, I was too young to realize that people are being racist towards me. And, it's always the little things. I mean, because it was from people in my close circle, sometimes friends, sometimes relatives, sometimes neighbors, sometimes like in my see, it's very normal. No third person will ever come and tell you that, hey, why do you look so black, or whatever. It's always people around you, and that is the reason why it takes a little time for young kids to understand that, oh, now when I look at it, it's like, hey, that was not fair for that person to say that at that age, because we don't realize, but it does create insecurities in your life. And for me, what had happened, there were always people who told me things like, if your nose was a bit, more sharper, you would look beautiful. If your eyes were big, or if your color was if your color was light, if certain things. These are these small things, but it's not in my hands. I am born this way. It's my genes. It is where I come from. And I don't know, when earlier it did take a toll on me. I used to wonder that, why am I like this? Like, what has happened? Like, why couldn't I be pretty? Or, why couldn't I be accepted by people? And then, and I was young, and, I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I had these things, but then later on, when I started sharing with my parents, and when I started telling them, these are certain things that I've been told and I've heard from my friends and people around there, and they told me that, you don't have to really listen to them. And I mean, it's good that they've showed you who they are. It speaks nothing about you, but it speaks a lot about them. So, take that as a lesson and keep moving forward. And that's what I did. I never looked back.
That's great. Like, I'm sorry that you went through all of that, but it's so nice that you have such a supportive parents and they have always been there for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So, being an indigenous rights activist and the founder of Voice of Tribals, what do you think are going wrong in the society and should be changed?
The whole purpose of forming Voice of Tribals was because I believe, and I think a lot of people will agree, that we don't have strong representation from our own community. There are issues everywhere, but I think we need strong leaders who can voice out what is wrong in our own community or in our own uh, our tribes, because you will always see a non-tribal coming forward and telling that, hey, this is the problem that they're dealing with. Why? Like, why can't you let us speak? Why can't we be the people, on the forefront? And why can't we come and tell you that, see, these are the problems and we would like it to be handled this way? I mean, even when you are telling our problems, even when you're forming solutions for us, it's we don't see our representation anywhere. I mean, there are people who are there, but then the ratio is very small. I think when you're taking it's almost like taking decisions for women, but not having a female representative. It's almost like that, you're taking decisions for us, but we are not anywhere. So I think that is one thing that needs to be implemented. And after that, a lot of things would get easier for us and even for the society, I believe.
That's right. That was a very amazing point of view that you put out to the audience. Okay, so tell us some ways by which we can be genuine ally to indigenous rights.
These are very, very, very simple things. If you live somewhere like in Orissa, I think it's a huge opportunity for people to know, because we have 62 communities here itself in our state, and it's very easy. Like every other person, or at least in your rural areas where you go, you have people around. It'll be nice if people are more accepted, if they are more if they have more acceptance towards the tribal people, or towards the communities, if they take them along with them, and they walk hand in hand with them, they make them a part of whatever's going on. It'll be nice, because they need it. We all again, we are supposed to live together, and the point is, when we don't see that happening, when we see that if we go out and we are being made fun of, that is somewhere, that gap is there. It becomes, it broadens the bridge, or the gap, whatever you call it. It just, we need to break that thing where both of us can walk together, can be on the same platform. I think that needs to happen.
I totally agree. Thank you for that. Okay, so as you are also entrepreneur as well, so tell us something about that and where do you get your inspiration from?
Honestly, this whole idea started during the lockdown, because I wasn't in Mumbai and I wasn't doing what I was always doing. And when I was here, I take my inspiration from my father. He was always interested in agriculture, which again comes from our roots. So he always wanted, because I think he is very smart that way, that he thought that when people are in the village, with all the resources that they get, what their output, whatever their output is, so he did that calculation, that if we have come so far, and if we increase our resources, our equipments and stuff like that, and obviously our output would be greater than what they have, like greater than what would have been if we were in our village. So he from a very from, I mean from my early days, he always was into, either be it poultry or very small things. There's this some agriculture, always into these things. And I was like, okay, fine. And now finally, when I was financially a little strong, so we decided to come up with Resham Agro, which is again a organic poultry farm, where we deliver eggs, chickens, and all the livestock items.
That's a really good thing. That's nice.
Yeah, I think lockdown has taught people to, come up with a backup plan where you can survive.
Yes, that's true. So recently you have faced cyber harassment, right? So how did you deal with it, and tell us something about it?
A lot of people, I mean, at this age, I see a lot of people going through, let's face it, everything's become digital. Everybody's on the internet nowadays. Look at us having this conversation online. And, so with everything, I wasn't a person who was always online, although my job did require me to post about my work and everything, to be visible, at least for people to know that, okay, she is actually working day and night. But yet, like I told you, the person that I am, I keep things a little private. Yet this year, I think, there was this incident where a person made fake accounts and he started calling me out. There were a lot of things that was being said to me on my DMs. And usually what girls do, or what people do, is they take a screenshot, they put it on their stories, they call the person out. And, I knew that doing that would not get me anywhere, would not get the person anywhere. He would get away with it, or, he might make other accounts and he might do it to me. If he's doing it to me today, tomorrow he's going to do it to someone else. And I really wanted some action to be taken towards him. So I went to the police, and I must say that, they were very supportive. I went to them, I told them that this is something that is being happening with me. And I went cyber police, and, I wrote them a letter so that they take things seriously. And later I figured that it's surprising, but the person is somebody whom I know. And again, I was in a shock because, I always thought that it is a stranger who's, trying to take his frustration out or something. But then somebody I know who belongs from the same industry, who sees me as a threat, that, it's just be on the face, yeah. Like, if you have some grudges, or if you have something against me, tell me. I will accept it, or I will apologize if I'm wrong. I have that thing. I'm very honest. I will not, if I feel that, okay, this is something that is wrong and that I have done, I will come and apologize. But then for unnecessary things, I think nobody ever should go through something that I went through, because I was strong. I had strong people around me who supported me. Imagine the girls who don't have anybody to go to. Something like this would break them, would, shatter their whole, no matter how much you grow in your life, things like this can break you. And I think that's the reason why I feel that people should not, just sit and think that, okay, it's just me, it's just a DM, it's just a picture. I think women should get that courage and, go there and just do an FIR. I mean, it doesn't take a lot, but yeah, I think that will actually show them that, okay, she's not afraid to just, speak out. And that is where everything will stop. When people know that, okay, there are some serious consequences following this, they will stop doing things. So yeah, I want people to take a stand for themselves.
Yes, that's how it should be. And I'm sorry that you went through that, but the way you dealt with it was this amazing. Like that's how it's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
I really want people to take that from this experience, and that's the reason I want to talk about it. Or else maybe I would have kept shut and I would have said, oh no, it's okay, it's fine.
But sometimes it is also about exposure. Some people are not aware about what the process is and how this thing should happen, and we should go for a FIR or we should not. Sometimes there are parental pressures that don't go, it will harm our reputation. So, what do you want to tell
Right,
about that?
right. It's, see, like even in my case, when I told my parents, so initially we did wait for a certain few months, but then it kept on happening, and then I realized that if this person is holding so much against me, it could be dangerous for me later on. Like, what if I'm on the road and something happens to me? Even if I'm in a condition where I can tell the police that there were these messages being sent to me and I felt threatened at that point of time, they will only question. I mean, it is their job to take an action late, even then, but everybody is going to question that, why didn't you come to us earlier? Why did we could have stopped it? We could have identified it at that point of time. So it's always better to not wait for something major to happen, and to take steps in the initial process itself, that then even you live a life without fear, that okay, I don't have anything to be scared of. I don't have any threats from anybody. I'm telling you genuinely, when it happened with me, I felt scared in my own house. I felt as if, what if there's somebody at the door and, I open the door and something happens to me, like they attack me or something happens to me. And although I live in the same building as my parents, I was so scared. And I don't want anybody to ever go through that. So, it's always better to keep yourself protected. Let your local authorities know that, this is the person you are scared of, or you're threatened of. Just let people know. It is going to be helpful for you in your future.
Sorry, yes, of course.
Yeah, long run, yes.
So, is there some current projects that you're working on right now that you would like to share with us?
Yes, so right now, I think yesterday itself we've launched a initiative by the Commissionerate Police of Bhubaneswar and Cuttack, in collaboration with KISS, Kalinga Institute of Social Science, and SN Mohanty Charitable Trust. So we are working, this is an initiative where we are working to rescue the missing girls and missing adults, where we rescue them, we rehabilitate them, we give them counseling. We are trying to raise an awareness where we will be going to the slums, or if the schools and colleges are open, so we'll be going there, raising an awareness on how you should be using social media effectively, and safe practices on social media, how you should not be clicking on certain links, because a lot of trafficking, and for the vulnerable groups, there's a lot of trafficking, and people become prey to these things, where they are being victims of kidnapping and stuff like that. So it's very important for us to go, like I told you, when we are at a space, it's always better to take people who are not aware, who are not who don't know about these certain things. So it's important to take them along. Yeah. So we will be doing that. We'll be telling them, not grooming them, but then making them aware of the threats that are on social media, because again, with everything going digital, even they are exposed to the internet all of a sudden. And every other individual has a mobile, and they have these everything's become so, like, even bank details and everything. I think everybody needs to know that you should not be doing like everything on the internet is not true, and people can be deceptive, so a lot. So it's a whole program which we will be working on, and I'm really happy to be a part of this, because again, it's something that I've always wanted to to help people, and this is giving me a medium. So I'm really looking forward to this journey also.
That's great. Like, this is a great initiative, and I hope you get success with this.
Thank you.
Okay, so do you remember any moment which you would like to describe as your happiest and why?
So many of them. So many, trust me. I think every day, but something that I realized that during this, this time where a lot of people are going through so much of difficulties, I feel that every day when I wake up and I realize that okay, my parents are healthy, my friends and family, like my friends and their families are safe, and they are not going through any difficulties. It really again, like I wake up every day with the thought that thank you God for not making us that family I mean right now, because I have seen so much during this 1.5 years. uh, you know choti choti cheezein, and it just, I can't even express through words. I've seen a very close friend of mine lose both her parents, and I think that for any, and parents losing their children, it's so difficult. uh, and whatever happiness that I talk of in front of incidents like this, I think just being grateful that people, like our loved ones, are safe and they're fine. I think that is a bigger happiness than whatever has happened earlier. So I would describe waking up healthy, safe, for me and for people I know around, that as a happy moment for me in today's time.
That's what. Okay. So, what professional goal do you have for yourself?
If 10 years down the line you would have asked me this, I would have told you that I want to be a successful model. I want to be the top model. But again, um, I do want to be a top model, and I want to go international. I want to do shows outside. But also, I realize that I also don't want to. I don't want to be limited just to modeling. I want to explore myself, and I want to take chances. I want to experiment a lot with myself. I want to see that if I can be a good speaker, if I can be a good people's person. I would like to, I would like to take up those places as well.
Okay, that's great.
Let's put that word there. Yeah.
So tell me, what are your hobbies and interests outside of modeling?
Outside of modeling, I have a lot of. I love watching TV. I streaming. I sing. I dance. I do a lot of things, which I absolutely love. And I think that is what it's my life mantra, to enjoy everything. So many times, there'll be people who will tell you that, hey, why are you doing this? You can't even do it. But hey, it's my life. Let me do whatever I want. Let me enjoy what I'm doing. So I don't have that kind of an opinion for others. Even when I see something and if it bothers me, I don't look at it. But I will never go and tell someone that don't do it because what you are doing is bothering me, because it's a free world. Let people do whatever they want until and unless they're harming someone. So yeah, and you will find me singing a lot if I am very comfortable around people, and if I'm around if I'm very chill. I like chilling in my own house. I call friends here, and we have our own karaoke session. So yeah, that is me.
That is amazing. Okay. So lastly, if there is anything that you would like to change about your journey up till now, so what it would be?
I would. I have learned a lot in this journey. Ideally, I should be saying that there's nothing that I want to change, but no, I would want to change certain things. There have been experiences which which I don't know, but I think it was necessary at that point of time. But I wish those had not happened to me. But again, like I said, if I take it as a learning experience, it does help me. But sometimes it's just unnecessary things that have occupied my brain. So I wish not change, but at least I can forget them. That's the beauty of memory. So yeah, although I can't change things, even if I want to, I can at least not remember them.
That makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you so much, Rhea, for joining World Modern Hunt India today
Thank
with us.
you.
It was an
Thank
absolute
you. Thank
pleasure
you.
being with you.
Thank you. Same here, same here, same here. It was super fun. I was excited. I was nervous, but yeah,
Okay,
over the time, yeah, I got super, like, it got so exciting. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I'm glad that you did. Okay, so for
Thank
anyone
you so
else,
much.
thank you so much, Rhea, for joining us. Uh, so for everyone else, we'll see you next week with yet another guest. Till then, take care and stay tuned. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.